Officer Sid McGregor has one of the most dangerous jobs in the world.
Go on!
As part of the Polar Bear Alert Team, he has to come face to face with nature's deadliest land predator.
The bottom line is, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, it could be potentially fatal.
Hey, bear! Bear!
Darting a bear from a helicopter requires great skill and concentration.
There's not really any room for pilot error. If something goes wrong, you don't have the height or distance to auto-rotate. You're gonna hit the ground.
There he is.
In the dead of night, the risks are heightened as visibility is restricted. Even in pitch darkness, Sid McGregor puts his life on the line, chasing bears from the town. The remote town of Churchill is Canada's most northern seaport in northeastern Manitoba. It lies on the east coast of the Hudson Bay at the mouth of Churchill River. Churchill is now known as the polar bear capital of the world. Every year, from September to November, approximately 200 bears cross directly through the town as part of an ancient migration path that leads them north to colder climates. Polar bears are one of the most dangerous animals in the world. They weigh as much as 1,300 pounds, can stand as tall as an elephant on their hind legs, have sharp, jagged back teeth and canines, and can run up to 20 miles an hour. As nature's most fearsome carnivore, polar bears consider anything they encounter, including the people of Churchill, as potential prey. Throughout the late 1970s, human polar bear encounters were so high in the province that Manitoba Conservation was forced to develop its own polar bear police force. Officer Sid McGregor is the most experienced member of the Polar Bear Alert Team. He is the last line of defense for the people of Churchill against hundreds of hungry polar bears.
Polar bears are very dangerous. I mean, they hunt for a living. That's how they exist, and they have no fear of humans. It's the biggest enemy a polar bear has is a bigger polar bear, and the bottom line is, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, it could be potentially fatal.
Close encounters with these massive bears are a routine part of Officer McGregor's job. Each morning, he heads out to check 12 large covert traps that are placed around the town's limits.
Here's one of our culvert traps here. We can get out and have a look at it.
In order to entice the polar bears into the trap, Sid baits it with seal meat. When a bear climbs in and grabs the bait, the back door drops and the trap is sealed. Polar bears rely on their extraordinary sense of smell, over 20 times more sensitive than humans. They can detect a seal 10 football fields away, hidden under 3 feet of ice.
We smell something. As a human, you have to be fairly close to it. These things are smelling for miles, and when you see them out on the land, their nose is constantly going, and it's basically like a radar for them.
After resetting the trap, Officer McGregor continues with his patrol. Within minutes of securing the bear trap, Officer McGregor receives a call that a polar bear has been spotted at the town's waste transfer station. The door of the garage bay has been accidentally left ajar, leaving an open invitation to this born opportunist. Inside, hundreds of bags of household waste await transfer to the landfill. The smell of decaying food and waste is a siren call to any hungry bear that can detect the odor from miles away. Bears who have become habituated to eating garbage pose a considerable risk to the people of Churchill. Simply putting out their trash could bring them face to face with a hungry bear.
There was a local resident went rummaging through the rubble and found some meat in one of the coolers, stuffed it in his pockets, and walked down the street. And some of the reports were people seen that bear follow him and stop, and it basically stalked him, till which time it attacked him and dragged him away by the head. It killed him.
Once at the transfer station, Officer McGregor scans the area for the bear. He won't risk getting out of his truck until he gets a clear sighting of it.
There's a bear right up there. He can smell that garbage in here, so it's an attractant. You can see along here they put this tin up and that. The bears were actually pounding holes in the walls and getting inside this building at the garbage.
Spotting the bear, Sid hits the gas and drives head-on towards it, making as much noise as possible. Although polar bears are not afraid of humans, they don't like unfamiliar noises. To scare the bears away without harming them, Sid uses a shotgun loaded with cracker shells. Cracker shells are a non-lethal explosive device similar to firecrackers.
Been around probably before that one.
Keeping a close eye on the bear, Sid continues the chase in an effort to drive the bear away from town.
Problem being now is if we wanted to dart this bear, we would pretty much have to do it from a helicopter because we still have open water. Like, I mean, it's frozen over a little bit, but there's no way it could support his weight or our weight. And should we drug that animal now, and he went in that water, and the drug took effect, he would drown in there. And you can see he's not, you know, town is over this way. He's not intent on going there. He wants to come back here, so he'll lie down because he can smell this, and then when it quiets down, he'll come back out. We'll wait and see what happens.
Before finishing for the day, Officer Sid McGregor has to check one last bear trap.
We're gonna check on a trap that a local helicopter company is flying by and said the door is down, so we're gonna go see if there's a bear inside that trap.
The traps placed around the town of Churchill capture almost half of all the bears in the area, decreasing the need to tranquilize them with a dart gun.
Door is down. Yeah, there's a bear in there. This is a subadult bear. He's not very happy about being in there. It's been processed before. He has ear tags. And we'll load this guy up and haul him away.
Even though the bear is safely secured in the trap, Sid is always aware that he's only a few feet away from one of nature's most fearsome killing machines.
You're hooking the back of the truck up to this hitch. This bear is right here. So it raises the hair on the back of your neck a little bit when he's, you know, snorting and huffing at you and growling with a deep, low growl. And I mean, he can't get you, but that's pretty close to be to a wild animal, you know. It's makes you think about what you're doing and have respect for that animal. So it's different that way.
As soon as Sid hooks up the trap to his truck, he heads off towards the polar bear jail, located on a strip of wasteland on the outskirts of Churchill. Although polar bears pose a serious threat to the citizens of Churchill, the job of the Polar Bear Alert Team is also about preserving the life of the great ice bear. The polar bear jail is composed of corrugated steel and contains 20 cells, enough to hold 16 single bears and 4 family groups. The jailed bears are held here without food or water for up to 3 weeks so that they don't associate humans with a free meal.
Come on, buddy.
This does not harm the bears because during the fall season, they carry half their body weight in stored fat and have evolved a fasting mode to replace the hibernation periods other bears employ. Halloween falls right in the middle of polar bear season, which makes trick-or-treating a little dangerous for everyone, especially the children of Churchill. Polar bears are immense, powerful wild animals that attack as fast as lightning and show little remorse for anything that gets in the way of an easy meal. Sid McGregor is one of several officers that are patrolling the streets of Churchill.
We don't have this many people out on the street any other given night. As well, it's definitely more of a concern at night than the day. We can't see in the dark and they can, so that's where we're at a disadvantage. And let's face it, when he's right in town like this, the chances of him having an encounter with a person or a human being is far greater, just by sheer population density, so reaction time has to be fast. Lead 291.
It's 3 a.m. and Sid is out for the third time.
Where's he at?
Supposed to be right behind these boxes by the basement lodge here.
There he is.
Sid gets a fleeting look at the roaming polar bear as it heads towards the back of a resident's house. Without a second thought for his own safety, he pulls out his shotgun and heads off into the darkness after it. Sid takes a moment to reload his gun before heading towards the railway track in order to cut the bear off.
There he is, right off the edge of our nose here. That's part of it. I mean, this is the same bear, so yeah, he's quite content on coming back. We can play this game all night, really. Nature of the beast. So we'll see you in an hour.
Roger.
Well, joking aside, that's probably not far from the truth. Well, we've had 2 calls with him tonight, but there's a lot more traffic earlier. I mean, it's 3 in the morning, so as there's less and less people around, unless he makes, a fuss in somebody's yard or whatever where they hear him and they phone, he'll wander around town more. Like, he'll get deeper into town before somebody sees him. And it wouldn't be good. I mean, you've seen him and you've seen where, like, he's right in the back of somebody's house over here. The guy that owns the lodge, that's his residence there, and he's on the other side of his fence. And if he wanted to be inside that fence, he would. I mean, that'd be nothing for him to break. Overly concerned about us anyway. I mean, he ran away, but not, he wasn't really in no hurry there towards the end.
Lots of early birds, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see you in a while.
The morning after Halloween, Officer McGregor heads off to the helicopter pad with his dart gun in hand, as the polar bear that he chased throughout the night has been spotted roaming the outskirts of town. Officer Sean Beaubier conducts operations from the ground.
We have a helicopter going up. We had a bear in town 5 times last night, and he kept coming back, wouldn't stay away. So what we're going to do is go up with a helicopter and tranquilize the bear and load him up and take him off to the polar bear holding facility. We just want to get him away from the community, and we know he won't come back. And we'll release him probably at freeze-up time.
Darting a polar bear from a helicopter is one of the most technically difficult operations that the Polar Bear Alert Team has to perform, as polar bears are very intelligent animals that are not fooled easily.
Morning.
I had too much coffee.
Where did you see him?
That's where he went in the bush.
Okay. He might be tough to get if he went in a big bush, yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's in that big bush, they generally won't come out. I mean, they're hidden pretty well. And if he's been through the drill, like some of the bears have been darted with helicopters before, and they get wise to it. And they'll hide under trees or go to an edge of a lake. They almost seem to know that we won't dart them by a lake, because if they go into the water and they go to sleep, then they drown. So we won't dart them by water. So it's almost like they get wise to that, and they know our moves.
Once in the vicinity of where the polar bear was last seen, the pilot circles the area, carefully checking for obstacles within his flight path. The pilot spots the bear and moves into position, hovering only 100 feet above land. This is one operation where there is no room for error.
If something goes wrong, you don't have the height or distance to auto-rotate. You're gonna hit the ground, and usually those things don't turn out too well.
Trying to shoot a tranquilizer at a moving target from a moving helicopter demands a lot of skill. Not only is it difficult to hit the bear, but the dart must be precise and strike it in the shoulder or neck. The helicopter pilot is an important partner in this effort. He or she must be able to work with the team and have a good understanding of bears and their behavior. The pilot must be able to bring the helicopter in close enough and fast enough for the shooter to get a good shot.
You know, it's nice to have a pilot that has a lot of experience, because you're flying low level, everything happens so fast, and as far as the darting part, you have to be ready, hanging out that window at the right time that you're gonna get a shot.
Once the bear has been tranquilized, the pilot brings the helicopter up and hovers above the animal. It's crucial to be high enough not to disrupt the bear, yet close enough to swoop down quickly if necessary. Typically, the drug will take effect in about 3 minutes, after which the bear will fall to the ground. As soon as the pilot sees the bear isn't lifting its head or showing any signs of movement, he knows it is safe to land. Since helicopters can land almost anywhere, they will stay fairly close to the animal, within 300 feet or so, and carry the equipment from there.
1-9 is an old bear. To immobilize the bears here, we use telazol, which is a combination of teletamine and zolazepam, and it's basically a major muscle relaxant. I mean, you could compare it to a Robaxacet times 1 million. They can hear and smell and see us, but they can't move.
142.
Initially, they'll check the position of the bear to make sure that it is breathing properly, then record its vital statistics for future reference.
233. Fat, 3. Tooth where?
Males commonly weigh between 900 and 1,300 pounds,
All good.
although very large males have been recorded in excess of 2,000 pounds, standing more than 12 feet high. The Polar Bear Alert Team are always on edge, constantly watching over their shoulders for the unanticipated arrival of other bears. As soon as they have gathered the necessary data, the bear is carefully placed in a net and flown off to the bear jail, where it will spend up to 3 weeks before being released back into the wild. Hudson Bay is a large, relatively shallow body of water spanning over 750,000 miles in northeastern Canada. It is bounded by Nunavut territory to the north and west, Manitoba and Ontario to the south, and Quebec to the east. The population of polar bears in the Hudson Bay area has dropped 22% since the early 1980s. Climate change is their #1 threat. Polar bears need solid ice platforms from which to launch hunting expeditions for ringed seals, their primary prey. But longer, ice-free periods restrict the time they can hunt each year. The Hudson Bay is only frozen in winter and spring, so from July to November, bears must live off their stored fat reserves. Because the sea ice is melting earlier in the spring, it forces the polar bears to land before they have developed enough fat to last them through the summer months. This manifests itself in a drop in the weight of polar bears and affects the birth and survival of cubs. Numerous scientists have warned that if global warming continues to persist at its current rate, the polar bear is unlikely to survive. Polar bear and human confrontation can often be fatal. For Sid McGregor, there is one experience that he will never forget.
We had a call just after 6 o'clock one evening, and I responded to that call. It was a couple of streets over from my residence. I went over there, and on one side of the street was an adult male polar bear. Across the street was a snowbank with a 3 or 4-year-old little boy playing on a toy. My heart started racing because that bear was facing towards that snowbank, and I thought that's the way he would go. The little boy didn't even know he was there. I was able to pull up on an angle and shoot a cracker shell right in front of that bear. When it exploded in front of it, it turned around and went the other way. If he would have stepped foot onto that road, I probably would have ended up destroying him. The bottom line is you're accountable for the decisions you make, and hopefully you don't make a wrong one. The last thing you want is for something to happen, like in that situation to that child. That would have been awful.
Officer McGregor gets a call to say that a bear has been spotted in Churchill. When a bear is in town, it becomes the #1 priority for the entire polar bear alert team.
He's in town already, so we're gonna have to pick up the pace here.
Traveling at high speeds along the icy roads of Churchill demands all of Sid's attention. At this speed, there is no room for error.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we got him here within the cemetery and that Rural Research Center.
I'll come up the back road.
The bear is now wandering around the town's cemetery. Sid cuts through the back streets in an attempt to get to the bear before it comes into contact with an innocent bystander. Sid gets a visual of the bear and slows down, as he does not want to spook it into running in the wrong direction. Once he gets in line with the bear, Sid fires a starter pistol, scaring the bear away from town.
Picked him up a little bit.
Go on.
another bear call. This one we'll leave it for now because they're not bothering the place right now, but they're on the move. Everything is freezing more and more. Like another day or two, that'll be frozen right over. And that's really what they like, is when everything's frozen over, because they just go in a straight line. They're not going around ponds and stuff.
Officer McGregor heads towards the coastline, where there has been a sighting of another polar bear making its way towards town. Once the winter months set in and the Hudson Bay starts to freeze over, polar bears begin to head north along the coast in search of ringed seals, traveling up to 3,000 miles in their search for food. Until the ice forms, bears will not have eaten since they came ashore nearly 5 months earlier during the summer, which makes Officer McGregor's job all the more dangerous. Any encounter could easily turn into a life-or-death confrontation.
There's always an unknown, and there's a risk that something could happen to you at work. You know, everybody hopes that everybody comes home safe at the end of the day, and we go from there. Is there a chance something could fatally occur? Absolutely. It's occurred in the past in different places, and hopefully it won't occur with me.
Although the bear can see and smell Officer McGregor, it is not afraid of his presence and continues to walk towards him. The bear climbs over the icy rocks with ease, taking a few seconds out to smell the air. Sid does not want the bear to get too close, as it could come over the rocks within seconds and brutally attack him. He fires off a round of cracker shells and the bear scurries off, disappearing behind the rocks. Sid gets back onto the main road to see in which direction the bear is heading.
Well, remember when it coming out, I seen those tracks there? He wasn't scared of us, but he didn't like those cracker shells, so that's a good thing. That's about as close as you want to get. And I mean, let's face it, if we didn't have those cracker shells, we could have been lunch. The slowest guy would have been lunch. But no, it's like this time of the year along this coast and that, myself personally, even if I was on my time off, not working or whatever, I wouldn't be without a firearm down here. Well, look at him. He just happened to be there along the shore, and he's coming all the way. He wants to go north. And that's the direction he's going. He's going to follow the shore. Hopefully he'll stop over here somewhere, because if he follows it long enough, he'll be right near town.
Scientists believe that the polar bear evolved from a group of brown bears that became isolated by glaciers in an area near Siberia. The stranded bears underwent a rapid series of evolutionary changes in order to survive on the ice. The polar bear's silhouette is markedly different from that of the brown bear. It has a larger, elongated body and lacks a shoulder hump. Instead of a dished face, it has a Roman profile with a long, elegant nose. Other adaptations include a longer neck, useful in keeping the polar bear's head above water when swimming. Warm, thick fur, and huge paws which help spread the bear's weight on thin ice. The polar bear's teeth also differ from those of the brown bear, which lives on a largely vegetarian diet. Polar bears are pure carnivores, with longer, more widely spaced canine teeth used for seizing and holding prey, and sharp cheek teeth designed to shear off chunks of meat. While brown bears hibernate in winter when food is scarce, polar bears do not. During an Arctic winter, there is no shortage of food, as it is prime season for seal hunting. Instead, polar bears experience a walking hibernation in the summer months, when the ice has melted and the bears are forced to live off their fat reserves. From October until the end of November, traveling through the subarctic is extremely treacherous. There are about 1,200 polar bears in the western Hudson Bay region, and Churchill has about 1,000 residents. This dangerous ratio keeps the Polar Bear Alert Team on their toes. With so many bears roaming around, a routine patrol can turn into a life-threatening encounter.
Not frozen enough yet.
To his surprise, Officer McGregor suddenly finds himself stuck in the semi-frozen terrain.
Does anybody have CAA?
Miles away from Churchill and with no help in sight, Sid wastes no time in calling his fellow agents.
220, Donald.
5-220.
How'd you like to come down the lowlands here? Do you got a tow rope?
Roger.
Thanks. Oh well. Back to life, eh? It's not exactly like you can call CAA. Especially when you live in a town that doesn't even have a tow truck.
The subarctic is a beautiful but unforgiving place where temperatures can drop to 76 degrees below zero and where hypothermia and frostbite are a constant danger. Sid stays in his truck until help arrives. Within the hour, two fellow officers arrive at the scene. They quickly attach a tow rope to his truck and pull it onto even ground. Minutes after his fellow agents leave the scene, Sid spots a subadult bear moving towards town. He decides to dart the bear to prevent it from coming into contact with the residents of Churchill.
Hey, bear! Bear!
After loading his dart gun, Sid gets in his truck and drives slowly down the coast, following the bear's every move. Unfazed by his presence, the bear continues to head towards Churchill, a scenario that must be avoided at all costs. The drug used to immobilize the bear is Telazol, which temporarily affects the bear's muscular coordination and brain function. Although Sid has a clear shot of the bear, he has to take his time and carefully shoot the dart between the bear's neck and shoulder. This is one of the few areas on a polar bear where the fat layer is thin and where the drug will be released directly into the muscle tissue. Once in the muscle, the drug will circulate faster than it would through fat tissue. Although Sid lands a perfect shot, the polar bear has time to head into the rocks before the drug has taken effect. This is an extremely dangerous situation, as Sid cannot see the bear and has no way of knowing if it is still conscious.
Here we're loading up some 12-gauge shotgun slugs, just in case.
Over the past 200,000 years, polar bears have evolved into highly skilled predators. Officer McGregor knows them well enough to fear them. He cautiously approaches the rocks. If the drug has not taken effect, the bear could attack him, and he will have no more than a few seconds to react to the situation.
Lovely. Bear! 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 I just have to put him in the right position. Young male, anyway. No ear tags. Brand new bear.
The effects of the drug are not long-lasting, and that means Sid must work quickly.
That's a recovery position. That keeps his breathing. His teeth are good too. We check for the wear on them, whether the canines are broken or not. And also with this guy, what we're gonna do is we are going to take this premolar tooth, and that'll get sent in to the Canadian Wildlife Service, and that's how we'll know the exact age of that bear. So what'll happen with him is we'll get him to an area where we can work on him, and then we'll measure him up. His fat, I could tell you, is a 3. He's in good shape, this bear. And we'll put ear tags in him, and we'll put a tattoo on either side of his lips in here. And that'll be his number. He'll be X17. How are we gonna get him out? Get a little bit of help here, and I'll be right back.
Realizing that the bear is far too heavy for him to get it into his truck by himself, Sid calls for backup.
I'm at the lowlands just down from the
Luckily for Sid, 2 fellow officers are in the vicinity and arrive within minutes.
Just get Sherry to watch his head.
They sling a rope around the bear's paws and begin to pull it out over the rocks, always treating the bear with great respect and care. The drug allows the bear to breathe normally, and this helps to keep its body temperature at the right level so that it does not get too hot or stressed. As soon as they get to a clearing, the bear is placed on a stretcher and loaded onto Officer McGregor's truck.
We'll do him up right here, right? Okay, boys, watch out. Okay.
The team gets to work. A plastic ear tag is attached to the bear for identification purposes.
There's Daryl and them. Does Donald
A
have it?
premolar tooth is also extracted.
You got it? Once we
The
know-
age of the bear can be determined by examining a thin slice of tooth and counting the layers, just like the rings in the trunk of a tree. A sequence of numbers is then tattooed onto the inside of the bear's lip. Both ear tag and tattoo have the same number. If the bear is caught again, they will know its history and vital statistics. Once they have finished their work, Sid transports the bear to the polar bear jail. The tranquilizer will wear off within the hour. Hopefully, after what it has been through, the bear won't want to come back towards town anytime soon. When the bear jail fills up, the polar bear alert team have to transfer some bears into the wilderness. The bears that have been at the jail the longest are the first to go. Transporting a polar bear is a dangerous operation, with little room for error, especially when the bear in question weighs 1,056 pounds and goes by the name of Brutus. It takes 8 men just to lift him onto a stretcher. Brutus is a 10-year-old male who was caught for the first time in 1999 and has been captured and released 8 times since.
Usually before a bear goes out, it's immobilized, but we give it what we call a top-up, and it's a hand injection of 2 to 3 cc's of Telazol, which ensures us a little more time. On average, that bear is out about 3 hours before he can totally be up on all fours.
A fellow officer stands by with a shotgun in hand in case the drug has not properly taken effect. Once the pilot of the helicopter is ready to go, he gives ground crew the signal, and the airlift commences. They head towards Seal River, 25 miles north of Churchill. Within a matter of seconds, all traces of civilization disappear. The subarctic has remained relatively untouched. The only recognizable plant life within this bleak terrain is the boreal forest, where the diversity of vegetation is low. Only hardy species can survive the long winters and make use of the short summers. Once the helicopter is in the vicinity where Brutus is to be released, the pilot circles the area to see if there are any other bears. Polar bears are master ambushers, and it would take but a few seconds for one of them to attack and kill a member of their crew. As soon as Sid gives the pilot the okay, he finds an open area to land. After landing, the polar bear agents have to physically release Brutus from his net. They must make sure that every move is carefully calculated as the drug is beginning to wear off and Brutus is slowly waking up. One of the crew members, shotgun in hand, keeps an eye on Brutus as he struggles to free himself from the cargo net. Sid heads over to Brutus to check on his condition.
Brutus! Hey, big boy. Nothing. Starting to come out of the drug. When he comes out of the drug, his head will move first, then his front will come up, then his hind will come up. So it's reverse of when he goes into it, and that's the good part of using Telazol. For the person administering that drug and dealing with that animal while it's immobilized, you can tell the effects of the drug, and it'll tell you what state that bear is in, whether he's going out or whether he's coming out. So it's a pretty good tool as far as our work goes. Good job, boys.
Sid struggles to put Brutus into the recovery position.
To get his foot out.
Moving a polar bear that weighs as much as a car is certainly not easy.
I just want to pull his foot out, so I'll push and just pull it out because he's kind of lying on it. There we go. Did you get it? There we go. The other one should be. Now it's. There we go. Perfect. Yes. We'll flip it back. There we go. He'll be okay like that. It's not the cleanest bear, but he just finished doing 30 days, so he's out on good behavior. We'll mark him up with a green dot and he'll be on his way. We have sort of an agreement with Nunavut because some of the people there still hunt bears, but they don't like to hunt them if they've had drug in them. So if they spot this green dot, they know this bear has had telazol in him. And for us, when we're dealing with bears and we see this green dot, we know that we've had him before, and it's gonna help us determine the course of action that we're gonna take with him. By spring, it'll all be washed out after he's swimming lots and rolling around. It's, what it is it's a cattle marker. Same thing farmers use for marking cattle. It's just our cattle up here are a little different. There you go, bud. Looking dapper. And we're set. All right, Brutus, we'll see you another year. Hopefully won't see him again for a while. Yeah, it's time to go, boys. Most satisfying part of my job is the part of releasing these bears back into the wild. It's a good feeling to know that they're going out into the land to where they belong and just returning to doing things that bears do. The bottom line is you have to believe in what you're doing and you have to care about what you're doing, and not only caring about people but also caring about the animals you deal with. And it's something down the road you want your children to be able to see a polar bear, or your grandchildren, and it'd be a tragic thing the day in the world that nobody can see a bear because things weren't looked after properly. And basically I do this work because I believe in what I do.
Thanks to the dedicated work of Officer Sid McGregor and the Polar Bear Alert Team, the people of Churchill are able once again to live in harmony with the Arctic's great white bear.